Welcome to Science Chap. Okay, let's talk about the biggest question there is. I mean, the absolute biggest. How is it all going to end? Not just our planet, not just our galaxy, but the entire universe. Are we headed for some kind of giant cosmic fireworks show? Or is it something else? Well, today we're going to take a journey to the very, very end of time to see what science thinks is coming.
You know, when we think about the end of the world, our minds usually go to some big, flashy explosion, right? A total apocalypse. But what if it's the total opposite? Something quiet, slow, even cold. The poet T.S. Eliot famously wrote that this is how the world ends, not with a bang, but a whimper. And it turns out that might be the single most accurate scientific prediction ever made.
So let's dive into this idea, this universal whimper. This quiet fade into absolute darkness is actually the foundation for the most widely accepted theory about how our universe will meet its end. So yeah, buckle up. Our troop to the end of time is officially starting now.
All right, so the leading contender for the end of everything is called the Big Freeze. You might also hear it called the heat death of the universe, which sounds pretty intense, right? But the idea itself is actually kind of simple. We know the universe is expanding. Well, the Big Freeze theory says it's just never going to stop. Everything is going to keep drifting further and further apart, getting colder, getting darker, until there's absolutely nothing left but a huge, silent, frozen emptiness. The best way to picture this is to think of the entire universe as a giant campfire on a cold night. Right now, we are smack in the middle of the best part. The fire's roaring, it's bright, it's warm. This is what scientists call the stelliferous era. Stelliferous is just a fancy word for filled with stars. But like any campfire, you know what happens, right? Eventually, the fuel runs out. The big flames die down, you're left with glowing embers, and then just cold, dark ash. This timeline maps out that exact future for our cosmos.
So this beautiful, brilliant, star-filled era we live in, the one where we can look up and see countless points of light, yeah, it's temporary. It's just a phase. I mean, sure, the universe will keep cranking out new stars for trillions of years, but the raw material, all that cosmic gas and dust, it's not an infinite supply. Sooner or later, the tank's gonna run empty.
And here's a mind-bending thought for you. In about 100 trillion years, the very last star in the entire universe, probably a tiny little red dwarf that's been carefully sipping its fuel for an unimaginable amount of time, is going to flicker and die. And in that moment, the lights go out. Everywhere. The cosmic night sky will go completely dark, forever.
Just try to imagine that. A universe with zero starlight. All that's left is a cosmic graveyard. Just the cold, dead remains of stars. Things like white dwarfs, super dense neutron stars, and of course, those silent, lurking monsters, black holes. Once that last star is gone, the universe enters this incredibly long, drawn-out era of just slow decay. And this process is just mind-bogglingly slow. First, as we said, all the stars burn out. Then, entire galaxies basically fall apart, their dead stars just floating off into the darkness. But then it gets even weirder. The very building blocks of matter, the protons inside atoms, are predicted to just fall apart, decay into nothing. And finally, even the mighty black holes aren't permanent. They'll slowly evaporate over eons through something called Hawking radiation, until they're gone too.
Just look at this number. That's a Google. It's a 1 followed by 100 zeros. It's a number so big your brain can't even really process it. And that's how long it will take for the last biggest black holes to finally wink out of existence. After a Google years, the universe will be nothing more than a thin, cold soup of lonely particles floating in an endless, empty void. That, my friends, is the heat death.
Okay, so that's the Big Freeze. A long, slow, quiet end. It's been the leading theory for a long time. It's solid. But what if it's wrong? What if the story doesn't just fade to black? What if the universe has a much more violent ending in mind? Because, you see, some very recent discoveries have thrown a massive wrench into this whole quiet end of the universe idea. There are scientists looking at new data right now who are saying, hold on a minute. They think the story could end a lot sooner and with a whole lot more, well, drama.
So it turns out the Big Freeze isn't the only game in town. Science has some other pretty wild apocalypse scenarios on the books. You've got the Big Crunch, where gravity suddenly takes over and squishes everything back down to a single point. Then there's the Big Rip, where some mysterious force literally tears every galaxy, every star, every single atom apart.
And my personal favorite, the big slurp, where the laws of physics themselves could just change instantly. And look at those timelines. We're not talking trillions of years anymore. Some of these could be just around the cosmic corner.
Now, for the longest time, everyone thought the Big Crunch was impossible. We saw the universe's expansion was speeding up, accelerating, and it seemed like it would just run away forever. But, and this is the really exciting part, some actual breaking news from the last year or so, brand new data is suggesting that acceleration might be slowing down. And if that's true, it changes everything. It means gravity could eventually win that cosmic tug-of-war and start pulling everything back in for one final fiery collapse.
So, just like that, the Big Crunch, an idea that was basically in the scientific dustbin, is back on the table. It's a real possibility again. I saw someone put it in a really cool way. They said the universe is sort of like a hibernating bear. It expands for a long time, then maybe it curls back up on itself. And who knows, maybe it wakes up all over again in a brand new Big Bang.
All of this new information, this uncertainty, has kicked open the doors on one of the biggest debates in all of science. What is the true fate of our universe? Is it just a system that's doomed to wind down and decay into nothing, or is there something else going on, something we've missed?
So right now, we're basically looking at two completely opposite possibilities. On one hand, you have the classic idea. The universe is winding down, kind of like a clockwork toy that's running out of energy, eventually leading to that cold, simple, dead end. But on the other hand, you have this wild new idea that the universe is actually waking up, that as it expands, it's creating more and more space for complexity, for order, maybe even for life to flourish, forever.
So which one is it? Is our universe a dying ember, fading into the dark? Or is its story just getting started? And this is the most amazing part. Right now, nobody knows. The top scientists on the planet can look at the exact same data from our best telescopes and come to totally different conclusions. The answer is completely up for grabs.
And honestly, the fact that we don't have the answer, the fact that the ultimate fate of everything is a huge mystery once again, well, that's what makes this the most exciting time to be interested in science. We have absolutely no idea how this incredible story ends. So, if you want to keep exploring these giant cosmic questions with us, make sure you subscribe to Science Feet. Thanks so much for watching.